What did you do to this child?
Excuse me?
What did you do to her son?
Well, we in the hotel. We was in the hotel. The son was crying and stuff. I like, what's going on? And I don't know what currently happened because I blacked out currently.
So do you remember? Do you think you hit him?
Well, I'll plead guilty for it, so I'll take my responsibility for it.
But my question is, do you think that you hit the child?
I'll say yeah.
Haven man went before a judge today accused of assaulting a 3-year-old.
Yeah, police say the incident happened in a hotel in West Haven last month. Fox 61's Tony Tersey joins us live right now from outside of Milford Superior Court with the disturbing details. Tony.
Guys, it's really something to read the arrest warrant affidavit. The man accused in this assault case was already out on probation for another assault, that one with a firearm. You see here in video in the court today, 22-year-old Esteban Nieves of New Haven arraigned on several assault and risk of injury charges here at Milford Superior Court, stemming from an incident allegedly occurring February 24th at West Haven's Econo Lodge Motel. The arrest warrant affidavit says surveillance video clearly shows Nieves punching, pinching, and even blowing smoke from a cigarette into the mouth of the 3-year-old son of his girlfriend. The boy today remains in serious condition at Yale New Haven Children's Hospital with injuries to his ears, chest, a lacerated liver, and even genitals.
Needless to say, we feel very strongly about the case, and we will assure that it's prosecuted vigorously.
The judge increased his bond from $100,000 when she signed the warrant to $500,000 today because she said she had no idea before signing the warrant about his probation that he was already on. Nieves' girlfriend, when she was shown the surveillance video at the West Haven Police Department, broke down in tears. He's next due in court is Nieves on this charge, March the 21st. Tomorrow, he has to report to a judge in New Haven to face the probation violation. We're live outside Milford Superior Court. Tony Tersey, Fox 61 News.
And you heard correctly. It was back in 2017 when this 22-year-old monster did this to a 3-year-old child. And you see, they had it all caught on camera. The entire assault, the assault that left this child with internal bleeding, with a lacerated liver, with permanent damage. Now, the DA, for whatever reason, I can never understand, they gave him a flat sentence of 10 years. Keep in mind, the entire assault was caught on camera. Keep in mind that he was on probation for a previous first-degree assault charge. Why? Why would someone who can do this to the most defenseless in our society be given another chance at freedom to potentially do this again? What do we know? Now, the DA does not show up to this case. I know there is no surprise there because, again, it's just children. But we'll share with you the information the lady found at the end of the case.
Esteban Nieves, 388-585.
Thank you. This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Esteban Nieves, number 388-585. He is serving a sentence of 10 years and 5 years of special parole for assault 1, risk of injury, violation of probation with an underlying assault 2. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of September 7th of 25. There is no victim input in this matter. There is an offender accountability offender. It has been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed anger management and voices. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation, the offender's overall score falls within the low range risk for recidivism. Mr. Nieves, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin, sir.
All right, I have a letter to read to y'all.
Okay. You're just gonna die.
Good afternoon. This is Esteban Nieves. How y'all doing today? Good afternoon, members of Parole Board. I want to thank you and everyone who gave me the opportunity for this parole hearing, and also apologize to the victim and victim family and my family who has been affected the most due to my actions. I'm very regretful for making those poor decisions. I want to say I have set full responsibility for all my actions. I have been learned that my actions didn't only affect me, they also affect the victim family. I'm in prison because I put someone's life in danger and I plead guilty. I plead guilty to my charges: assault, first degree violation, probation, risk of injury too. My plans are to continue a regular schedule Monday to Friday, working a diesel mechanic at Wallingford company named Road Service Networks. I have my family supports and my mother's, my sisters, nephews, and nieces and aunts, and my own support to stay out of trouble. Focus on my future and do side jobs fixing cars and trucks when I have my days off. Keep myself busy. If parole grant my parole, I will parole to my mother's house, which she paid mortgage, no Section 8 or housing. This option is until I get settled myself and save money while working and look for apartment or studio. If I don't have another choice, yes, I will go to a supervisor placement. I only have 2 DRs. One of them for contraband meds that has been expired and never returned to medical. The second ticket was a fighting for over my charges. The programs I completed, everything that shows up on my OAP, complete voices and anger management, and had 5 days job. First, I had the shovel worker cleaning, then I upgrade to the barber job. I have the barber job for 6 years and have good job reports for both jobs. I will support myself hard and get settled and save money to have my own stuff and move forward by having my own responsibility, paying my own bills, rent, and become part of the community of United States. Working hard, keep myself busy to stay out of trouble. But I have changed my life completely and avoid any situation I can working away, walking away and calling the cops. I love my family. I let them down. I want to reunite with my family, being a sample. I should be released early because my parents getting old and I need to enjoy my parents and family. These 8 years I've been incarcerated. This is a waste of life of time. Instead, enjoying freedom and become part of the United States community. And I have been 7.5 years ticket free and complete all my programs that PCU then offer only. We only have access to some programs in this block. Yes, I have something to say. I will appreciate if I get a second chance and granted parole for giving another opportunity to become part of the community of the state. Believe in me, I will receive this gift by being 7.5 years ticket free and no problems and staying out of trouble and keeping my mind set different by thinking differently. I have passed this 8 years hanging around with old men with clean mindset, and they gave me a lot advice as you've been seeing ticket free for 7.5 years. Once again, thanks you for hearing me. I have learned to develop the skills and knowledge of how to change and learn that wanting is not enough. All change have came within myself. Recent asking the parole board for a second chance, I ask that to you. Take my words. I take my words that I have decided for a better life for me and my family. Thank you for hearing me out once again. For any opportunity you will give me time to prove my sincerely to y'all all. Thank you. Thank you again. Have a nice day. Enjoy. Thank you for your time. And It's a pleasure by meeting y'all guys. I hope I get a chance. Thank you. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Yes, we do, Mr. Nieves. Thank you for preparing that statement. You covered a lot of ground. You told us about your release plan and you expressed remorse for your actions. You talked about some of the things that you've done since you've been in the prison. And we do have questions for you. So we'll take a turn asking, and then when we're done, we'll deliberate and give you our decision, okay?
No problem.
Great. Mr. Pohl is going to start.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Nieves.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
All right.
How about yourself?
You know, maintaining, doing
Okay.
okay.
All right. Just wanted to touch base on these, just as the chair said, you have done a great job with your statement this morning or this afternoon. I'll get it right here at some point. Great job this afternoon with your statement. And you addressed a lot of the things, you addressed the tickets and I see that, and you talked about why you haven't had tickets. You've been taking some guidance, which is something that is important, because here, you have an assault first, an assault second, and a risk of injury that are on your record, So can you talk a little bit about how anger management has helped with your assaultive behavior?
It helps me a lot because they teach me how to treat my anger when I'm mad, or how to avoid stuff and problems, and to continue my mindset, thinking directly perfect without thinking negative stuff. Just think positive.
Okay, and so thinking positive, but what skills have they given you so that you don't engage in that assaultive behavior any longer?
If any mental health problem or anger management, to find like a therapy to help myself out and explain, have a conversation with a therapy, explaining my ways, how to solve my problems without anger or hurting somebody.
Okay. Have you had a situation in the past 8 years where you were angry?
No.
So you haven't had one time in 8 years that you were angry about something?
I've been going with anger management for this whole 8 years, and then I'll be seeing them once a month. I've been helping me out.
So okay, so hang on that adds a little bit more. Who are you seeing once a month?
Miss Rachel.
So you've been going to your mental health program, one-on-one counseling,
Like once a month.
so all along.
Yeah.
And it's in there that if you have something going on with you, that you're able to talk about it and find the ways to cope with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll be telling my problems mostly to the mental health and my family when I have a bad day or stuff like that, to keep myself a mindset.
So you talk to family, you call home often?
Yeah, I call home every day.
Okay. And you talk to mom?
Yeah, my mom all the time, my sister.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing, right? So if we relate that to your offenses, what would you have done differently?
Excuse me? Can you repeat it one more time, please?
if we relate to the anger management and talking to mental health.
Yeah.
As far as your offenses, the assault 1, the assault 2.
Yeah.
How would you have done things differently?
It been helping me out by keeping myself out of trouble, thinking different, and if
I don't think you heard me. Let me speak up a little bit, okay?
all right,
So you have the assault 1 and the assault 2, right?
yeah,
So if you think back to when that happened,
yeah,
with what you've learned since you've been in with anger management and working with mental health,
yeah.
how would you have handled things differently?
Oh, that's totally different because by that time, those time happens, I was young, still, I was having problems with my job, people around me, had a lot of anger, and my anger turned on me. But now that I have mental health and stuff, it's helping me much better. So that would be a great thing. Also, if parole grant me for parole, I would love to get like a therapy out there in the world, so that will help me out. Also,
Okay. That makes sense. And I think I got to the answer that I needed. You have a career to go back to, something that you're good at.
yeah,
You have support in the community and a place to go.
yeah,
And you rate out low. You haven't had tickets in 7 years.
yeah, correct.
I'm going to pass it at this point and see if anybody has further questions here.
Thank you. Nicole. So, Mr. Nieves, in your opening statement, you said that you, forgot. In your opening statement, you said that you received good work reports in the facility as a barber.
Yeah.
That's not what our records indicate.
No, only for the shower, the shower.
I don't understand. Oh, your shower job.
Yeah,
Not
shower
your
job.
barber job.
No, not the barber job. They gave me a good report for the shower job.
Okay.
And then I upgraded to the barber job, and they never gave me a good report for that yet.
No, they didn't. Okay, so I was confused. And when the officer asked you about your community support, the only person that you said was your mom. Who else do you have?
For community support, I got my sisters.
So you have siblings? Who else?
I got my niece.
You don't have to say their names. I just want to know. So if you have nieces, do you have any aunts and uncles or?
I got aunts and uncle.
Okay. So I know you spoke with my colleague about some of your anger issues.
Yep.
This in the stabbing, which one of you stabbed this man? Was it you?
If I stabbed the man?
Yes, in the stabbing, in your assault second. Who stabbed him?
It was one of my colleagues.
Okay. And why did you target this man?
No.
He was just a random person.
Yep. We was riding bikes, and we stopped at a gas station, and from there we was getting some cigarettes and buying some stuff. And when we got in the way, one of my colleagues had the change broke, so we stopped in front of somebody's house to try to fix the out in the sidewalk, basically, to fix the change and stuff. That's when the guy came out and started assaulting us and started swinging on my colleagues. And we all tried to move across the street, and then he still was chasing us. And then that's when the couple of days they came to my house saying that he got stabbed. And I didn't know because I never was involved in the fight or never stabbed him. So they gave me a year in custody, 3 years 5 years probation, and I think it was 3 suspended, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I did a TS bid, which I did a TS bid, and they sent me to my mother's house at 71.
Mhm.
And
Okay. All right. And so now let's move up to your instant offense. So you were dating this lady for about 3 months
yeah,
and you moved in with her? You guys were living, go ahead.
no, I met her in Rhode Island, and I brought her to Connecticut, to New Haven. I had her in a hotel for like 3 months.
Okay.
But
How long had you known her?
for 3 months.
Before you brought her, she moved with her children to Connecticut from Rhode Island and on your first meeting.
Yeah, correct.
What did you do to this child?
Excuse me?
What did you do to her son?
Well, we in the hotel, we was in the hotel, the son was crying and stuff. I like, what's going on? And I don't know what currently happened because I blacked out thoroughly.
So do you think you hit him?
Well, I'll plead guilty for it, so I'll take my responsibility for
Right,
it.
but my question is, do you think that you hit the child?
I'll say yeah.
All right, so when they were at the hospital and they were what were they examining him, why did you leave?
I brought the baby to the hospital myself. And the girl I was dating with, my phone was ringing. I worked for Road Service Network, and that time I was working for Worth. My phone started ringing to do a road service.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her they're gonna pay me $500, so I gotta go to do the job. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering why you left the hospital when you didn't know what was going on with the kid.
No.
Okay. Did you ever tell the authorities that you blacked out and that you could have possibly hurt the child?
I said that when I got to the police interview in the police station. I let them know there, but never in court. I never was asked that question, nothing like that.
All right. Mr. Sosowskis?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good. So I heard you say that you blacked out, but for me, it's not enough information. You know, I need to understand a little bit better. Were you drinking or doing drugs? What was going on that you blacked out?
I don't drink or do drugs at all. Because I was doing that day 16-hour shift job. So I was really tired. So I blacked out. I can't tell you personally.
I know, but if you fell asleep and you were sleeping, you wouldn't be able to assault somebody. So that's different than blacking out. So have you ever had blackouts before? Have you ever had blackouts before?
No, but when I sleep, I woke in my sleep. I woke in my sleep. And when I was a child, I used to get out the house, be in the yard while I'm sleeping and stuff. That's a childhood. And totally, me personally, right now, I don't totally remember if I really hit him. I probably hit him. Probably I was out of my sleep, and I caused that incident.
You're serving a long time in jail in prison, and now you're coming here today. And you're not really. You're trying to take responsibility, but I'm not hearing it completely. I hear you saying you take accountability, it's your fault, but at the same time you're saying, well, maybe I hit him, I probably hit him. This child had severe injuries, right? The child was very injured.
Yeah. Now, on my transcript, it says the transcript I have. It says, he was bleeding internal, and they had to do a surgery immediately. So when I came back from the job that I did, I was calling her phone like more than 50 times, and I was like wondering what was going on. I never knew nothing till the afternoon when I came out from work. When I called her, she never answered the phone. At the nighttime, they answered the phone, and I was in the hotel laying down, taking a nap, while the police and the DCF was involved. They all arrived to there. We not arresting you, but we have some questions to ask you because a 3 years old kid was hurted.
Yeah.
And we want to ask you some questions, and that's what I answer all her questions and stuff. And 3 days later, I went to the police report. To the police station to make a report. Then 2 days later, I went again to the police station, and we talked. And then that's when he gave me a warranty. A warrant.
Right.
And I got arrested.
Yeah. You took the Voices program, right? Completed that?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you remember what that was about? What was that about?
That tells you completely like all the stuff that happens in any crime that could happen in any seconds. In 20 seconds, this crime could happen. 2 seconds, or sexual assault could happen. Or shooting could happen in 4 seconds in different states.
All right. Do you remember them talking to you about victims and what victims have to go through? Someone like this child that was injured severely?
Yeah.
What do you think that child has had to go through after all these surgeries and all these years?
Well, he had a rough life also.
Okay. I read something else in the reports. It said that at the time that all this happened, that you were living with your wife. Is there another woman that you were involved with besides the girl from Rhode Island?
I was with another girl before with her, and me and her was we was on a relationship. So, but the girl that was in the hotel with me, I was considering her like a side girl.
Yes, that's my point. Were you actually married to the other woman, or you just referred to her as your wife because you were in a long relationship?
Yeah, we was together since 2010, and we broke up in 2016.
So you're not with her anymore?
Not with her anymore.
Does she have any children?
No.
So you're not in any relationship right now?
No, I've been single now.
Right. Have you ever apologized to the victim's family?
No, because I don't know. I never communicate with them since I've been in jail because I got to protect the order, and I don't know where they at or where they staying, where they at right now. And I'm moving on. I don't want nothing I got to do with them, nothing like that.
So from the time that the incident happened until you went to jail, there was some time in between. You were out, right?
Yeah, but when I was out there, the police station took her out and put a protective order right away. Like I couldn't be around them.
Okay. Right. And you said you have a job as a diesel mechanic. Have you talked to the people? Are you sure you can work there?
Yeah. I could give you the number and the address, and if you want to call them, you can ask them. They was gonna send me a letter.
Yeah.
But they was so busy. I guess they never sent it on time. But I could give you the phone number, and you could give them a call.
When was the last time you talked to them?
I spoke to them when my mom went over there was last month, I think it was.
Okay.
Or 3 weeks ago.
All right, sir. That's all I have today. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Zaskis. Okay, give us a few minutes to talk about your case, sir. We'll give you our decision shortly, okay?
All right.
All right, Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Nieves has explained both of his convictions here today. There's still a lot of mystery around the assault first offense. He has engaged with anger management which he's received excellent ratings across the board, and the evaluation was that he was very engaged. In addition to that, he's taking out that once a month, and he's learned how to talk through any difficulties he has in the facility. Is noted.
I would just speak up just a little bit.
He does have 2 disciplinary reports. The last one was in 2018, so it was some time ago. And he in scores, overall he rates out low. And his he does have 5 years special parole to follow. He does have support, significant support among family. He does have employment opportunities to engage in, whether it's towing or diesel mechanic types of things. And he as well, talks about taking care of free time with side jobs and things like that. So for me, there's definitely a plan, a plan that's there, based upon those things. I think that he would be a suitable candidate for parole. I believe it would be supportive of him. There's 5 years special parole, so it would pretty much be seen as type of thing. But concerned, I'm mitigating with that, knowing that he's asked to be connected with mental health support in the community so that he can continue to deal with things on the outside the way he's learned how to deal with them on the inside.
Mhm.
So based on that, that's where I am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Poole. Mr. Sadauskas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, I recognize lots of things that Mr. Poole says. He does rate out low. I am very concerned here that the nature and circumstances of this are just, really couldn't get to the bottom of it. And I'm very concerned that a vulnerable person was injured severely here. They required surgery and other things. This happened while he was on probation already, I believe, for another incident. That was another assault that he says that he didn't commit. And he has a difficult time articulating clearly what he's learned in some of the programs that, for me, would make me feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So, for me, I cannot support discretionary parole today based on nature and circumstances. In fact, he was on probation when this happened.
That's what I have as reasons as well. And I mean, honestly, he was really trying to.
He was trying.
But I just really don't.
It's a public safety thing.
The nature, he seems like such a gentle, I hate to say giant, but I think that he really does come off very calm, cool, and collective. But it's just, I think that in different scenarios and in special situations, things may be difficult for him to navigate or understand. But he has been doing well. I can't, based on the nature as well, I couldn't support his discretionary parole either. So he does have the 5 years of special parole to follow his sentence, and I would be willing to set those conditions. I know.
I have 2 co-defendants and 3 victims listed on my documents here.
That's what I have as well. I also have mental health evaluation and treatment because he's a 3.
And he said that he needs that. He understands.
Did we? Okay.
Your management in the community would be out with them.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay, so with regard to Esteban Nieves Jr., 388-585, I move to deny discretionary parole based on the nature and circumstance of your current offense and your offense being committed while you were on probation. You will not receive a new hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
No.
All right, so Mr. Nieves, this is a majority decision to deny discretionary parole for you, but I further move to set the following special parole conditions. As you have 5 years of special parole to follow your sentence, you are to have no contact with victims A, P, B, L, or WL. You will have no contact with your underlying victim. He said he didn't know him. Do we want to add that? That GB, Roderick, the stabbing victim? No? He said he didn't know him.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to put it on. It's a long
All
time.
right, so the underlying co-defendants of the assault second are Heriberto Colon and Giovanni Baez. You'll participate in a mental health evaluation and receive treatment as deemed necessary. And you'll also participate in anger management. Did I say everything, colleagues? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, Mr. Nieves, you will receive all of this in writing. We could not support discretionary parole for you. So you will EOS and go out onto special parole. I see that you've already been denied DOC halfway house as well. So hopefully you'll do well when you're out there.
So I got denied.
No parole for tape.
You were denied, yes.
None.
I can't get another opportunity since I've been doing all my right stuff. And
Mr. Tate is not getting parole.
You have, sir. It's the nature of your crimes, and you are on probation. So they're very serious. An assault second and an assault first are extremely serious crimes. So
yeah, but when I was in probation, I was doing everything right.
Mr. Tate is not getting parole because of anger issues. That's what's going on here.
4 years, I only had 17 days left for probation and finish probation.
yeah.
And I got
Yeah, all
violated.
I can tell you is keep up the good work, sir. You have a lot of help to follow your sentence. So Mr. Pohl did support your discretionary parole. So we do recognize the work that you're doing. It's just a lot to overlook, sir. Okay? Good luck to you. Thank you. You'll get this in writing.
All right.
Okay, that's the hearing for Esteban Nieves, number 388-585. All right, you're all set, sir.
No parole.
No parole for Tate. Of course, Mike Pohl was going to grant. I mean, his logic is illogical. It makes no sense. Like, again, he has special parole for 5 years, but we have seen the Connecticut Parole Board still grant, even though someone has special parole and talk themselves into it. Mike Pohl's logic, again, there's like nothing there. It's pure insanity. And keep in mind, and this is what drives me nuts about the whole judiciary, what's the word? The whole justice system. It makes no sense that he has a first degree assault charge. He is charged with stabbing a man. He gets like a really good deal. He gets, I think, what is it, a 1 year sentence, and he has 3 years suspended. But then when he immediately, while on probation for that, commits such a horrendous crime, the child is permanently disabled, and they sentenced him to 10 years. But they completely ignored those 3 years that he had suspended. So again, keep in mind, if you thought that even 10 years was harsh, they really only sentenced him to 7 because he should have been back in the time on the initial charge. And then with his parole eligibility after serving like 50% of the crime, really it was even less than that. But that's the thing about the Department of Corrections, Connecticut, the whole justice system, is that it's all just a bit of a gimmick. And here he is all these years later. I mean, it's kind of scary. You can't ever imagine that someone like this would be safe. You can't do that to a child and be safe around anyone. And of course, it is just terrifying. You hear that he meets the girl and he brings the woman back with children. She shows up. It's like, what is going on here? It makes you wonder if something more nefarious was happening. Yeah, I had my no parole for t-shirt on. You can get it in the merch store if you want to help support the channel. I have hats too. I wore it out actually the other day, and I don't know if I left it in the car. But let me read to you the article that Lady Holly found. So, a West Haven man arrested and accused of assaulting his girlfriend's 3-year-old son because, 3 years old. What's the big deal? He is charged with first-degree assault, third-degree assault, risk of injury to a minor, and violation of probation. His arraignment Wednesday, Milford judge set his bond at $500,000. West Haven police detective launched their investigation into the possible 3-year-old boy February 25th after doctors at Yale, you almost forget, right? This is Yale, New Haven Hospital emergency room, determined his serious injuries were consistent with assault. NBC Connecticut obtained the arrest warrant, which reveals disturbing details in this case. The assault took place at Econo Lodge in Highland Street, West Haven, where Naves lives with his girlfriend and 3 young children. 3 children. I just there's so much to say just on that, but I think it doesn't need to be said right now. According to the warrant, 3-year-old injuries were bruising to both his ears, stomach, and chest area, as well as internal bleeding on the liver. The victim's 7-year-old sibling told DCF social workers that his mom's boyfriend, who they called Junie, had pinched both their ears. WHPD detectives continued their investigation by reviewing surveillance video. Remember, this was on surveillance video somehow. I don't know. Surely they don't have videos inside the rooms, but I guess it was done in a way where the camera footage picked it up. The warrant describes in detail what happened between 9:41 and 9:44, so 3 minutes. The detective writes that he can be seen slapping and striking the top of the boy's head. I mean, I have a 4-year-old, and it just doesn't make any. It's just, you can't. It's a different kind of monster. It's a different kind of evil. The warrant also describes that he's blowing cigarette smoke, into the child's mouth. This is torture. He's torturing the child. Despite the large quantity of smoke that is blown, I can't even, mouth of this occasion. In subsequent instances, the 3-year-old never coughs and simply returns. Despite the large quantity of smoke that is blown into his mouth, on this occasion and subsequent instances, he never coughs and simply returns his bottle to his mouth as if he's already conditioned to it. How did mom get away with this? It's just, Prosecutor Kevin Lawler said at the arraignment he had reviewed the video evidence. Every child, this is where the DAs always talk out of 2 sides of the mouth. Every child abuse case is tough. When you read these warrants, you'll see what's alleged to have occurred in this case, and it's hard to do. On March 2, detectives interviewed Neves a second time, and they showed him the surveillance footage from Econo Lodge. During said interview, he still maintained that he did not know that the real sustained his injuries. We advised Neves that we now know it was him who had caused the injuries and wanted to give him the opportunity to explain his actions. But he denied that he ever did anything. Denied it then, denying at least knowing of it now. Lady Holly provides all the details of the case. You can see here, 10 years, special parole 5, rescued the child's 10-year sentence, right? And he has a long record. It's not like, so he has criminal mischief, a 1-year jail, suspended, threatening second-degree misdemeanor, 1 year suspended, reckless endangerment, 1 year suspended. So these are, 3 years that he was backing at the time of this offense? I feel the same way. And I hate this dude. I agree, Holly. And then Holly's fact of the day: California. In Blythe, California, wearing cowboy boots is illegal unless you own 2 cows. The gatekeeping is so real. Again, I just, I love that Lady Holly puts in these random facts because it just paints, I think, the picture of how funny America can be. Maybe other countries have weird laws like this, but I think what makes America different is that we have the 50 states and we have every state writes their own crazy laws through the legislator, and you end up with just ridiculous laws. I mean, how does this happen? It just when you see laws like this, it almost explains how we have the insane, well, you only get like 1 year minimum sentence for essaying, because I mean, you actually have someone wrote this into law. Someone wrote this. That makes come on. I need to know the history of this, but that's for another day. You probably make a YouTube channel just covering all the crazy laws. Actually, it's actually kind of interesting. But here you have it. He's going to get out no matter what. Let's go back to the sheet to double check it. His full term date is 2027, March 8, 2027, less than 2 years at the time of this recording. And who knows what's going to happen. But hopefully, they should have, they should have for this kind of case, some type of registry where someone can't be around kids, right? I don't think he has it. It's just like assault, but there's not going to be any law barring him from dating a woman with another child. That's a big black hole in the law, isn't it? I guess we can be worried about making sure people who own cowboy boots have to own at least 2 cows. We'll focus on that for now, but maybe one day the legislators will put laws to protect children. Those who do violent crimes against children should not be allowed to be in the position to do it again. That's a simple law, no? I don't know. Anyways, with that, I'll let you go.
What did you do to this child?
Excuse me?
What did you do to her son?
Well, we in the hotel, we was in the hotel, the son was crying and stuff. I like, what's going on? And I don't know what currently happened because I blacked out currently.
So do you think you hit him?
Well, I plead guilty for it, so I'll take my responsibility for
Right,
it.
but my question is, do you think that you hit the child?
I'll say yeah.